Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. It is early Sunday morning. Hope your weekend's great. It's a long weekend here in Ontario, Canada. I don't know in Britain do they have it, but they do in the States, Labor Day long weekend. So that's what we're having a bit of a holiday. They call it a bank holiday in Britain, a Monday off. Everything's closed, that kind of thing. So, what's going on? Well, there is a huge Daily Mail exclusive that is now being reported on all the news channels that Harry is looking to make his way back into the royal fold. That's right. Daily Mail is reporting that he is soliciting the help of friends and associates from his former life in London, in Britain, to help ease the way for him to make a return of some capacity into the royal fold. Now, there's so much wrong with this. First of all, hang on, I gotta grab my coffee. First off, it says nothing about whether Meghan would be returning with him. And it doesn't give a time frame. It doesn't give any parameters. Is Harry still expecting these apologies he's been looking for? Is this, he figures, the only way he's gonna get the security he wants? Is it he's worried now that if things change on the American political landscape, that his visa and his status in the States might change? And cause him all kinds of troubles? There could be a lot of motivation. I think the biggest motivation is that he's just not satisfied. Things aren't working. They don't have the success or the world renown that they were going for. I think they're just bleeding through money. And Harry's looking for a way out. So when we think about these things, we got to think about, well, everything he's said, him and Meghan, everything they've done, the way they've undermined the royal family, downright insulted and libeled and smeared them and worked to diminish the importance of the royal family, to almost try to set up a second court. I mean, yeah, none of it worked, but the damage is done, buddy. You know, you can't just come back and everybody say, oh, well, didn't work, good enough, come back, we'll just wipe the slate clean. Now, we have heard reports recently that Charles has been consulting with spiritual leaders over the whole question of Harry. He's looking to forgive, I suppose, and sure, head of the Church of England, it's a very Christian concept, forgiveness, but that doesn't mean, you can forgive somebody for even egregious things. But it doesn't mean that you set yourself up for it to happen again. There's an old saying, once bitten, twice shy. Are they ever going to let him be in the position again to cause that kind of trouble? I mean, they should have put an end to things already, let alone any thoughts of welcoming him back. And, whether it's the king's wish to have his darling boy back by his side, I don't think Camilla's going to be too thrilled about it after the things he's called her evil and mean and, all kinds of terrible things, as he's done with Catherine and William and, Does anybody want this guy in his midst? Harry's looking for an apology for how terribly him and Meghan have been treated. How about what you've done to everybody else? It doesn't matter. He just thinks, okay, well, I'm back. Everything's fine. Let's just carry on. Even if this is what the king would desire, let bygones be bygones, and naively bring Harry back and believe that he's going to play the game and he's going to follow the rules, and especially if Meghan comes back. Absolutely not going to happen. It's going to be, if they allow one thing, he's going to make demands for something else. It's going to be a constant battle, constant struggle, constant conflict. Nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is Harry is realizing that, even as a prince, without the royal family backing him, he doesn't really have a lot going on. There's only so many fake tours that you can do. The press is on to them. They're a couple of fraudsters with very nasty attitudes. They don't seem to like too many people, and they certainly don't like to be told what to do. So him coming back in any capacity, absolutely not. And if the king tries to push this, William is gonna blow a gasket. The public, oh my God, the British public, they don't want them back. Can you imagine the protestations that are going to be so widespread and loudly shouted? The government doesn't want them back. They don't want this hassle of having to deal with these two. It's a nightmare scenario. It's a nightmare scenario, and this is the point at which, I most certainly, William and Catherine, I would assume Anne, and probably others within the royal family and advisors are saying no, they can't come back. There's under no circumstances after what he's done can they come in. And I have been saying something for over 2 years now, based on a theory after having watched a movie, King Charles III, Life Imitating Art, my whole playlist. And I've been saying all along, there's going to be a seminal event that divides the king from the country and his people that is going to make William step in and sort things out and take control. And basically, this is going to cost the king his throne. And this might be it. This might be it. Can you imagine? William in a million years will never allow Harry and Meghan back. No. Are we going to see a situation, again, another playlist, the time loop? Are we going to see a further exile in place by the British government? The only thing that I can think of that they might somehow offer Harry some kind of position, say ambassador or governor or something or other of some Commonwealth place, much as they did with Edward and Wallace and sent them to the Bahamas, to keep him out of Britain. So, if that happens, if we hear any of this kind of talk, that means everything is coming together and the time loop is holding true. This is and really sending them off to do something would be the only way I think that William would allow them back, even Harry alone, back in any capacity. You know, if a deal like that was struck, oh my gosh, it would show I've been right on the money for over 2 years. So that remains to be seen. But getting back to him just coming back to Britain, the public would absolutely be howling mad. The government wouldn't be happy. The Commonwealth wouldn't be happy. You've got a traitor on your hands and you're bringing him back into the fold to cause even more damage? Like, how stupid are you? How stupid are you? Well, kings are chosen by position of birth, not their intellect. Um, Charles is operating on a completely emotional basis. He's not thinking things through. He doesn't see the damage that's been done to not only the monarchy but to his own reputation. A lot of people have lost a lot of respect for the king and a lot of confidence in him for this very reason, that he's allowed Harry and Meghan to like run roughshod over him and the monarchy and the rules, and he looks like a weak king. And this is where, if they are having a summit up in Scotland right now, where they all seem to be, if they are trying to come to some decisions, God hope it's not to bring them back. I don't think William would allow it. I don't think Anne would allow it. Does Andrew get a vote? I don't know, but he wouldn't allow it either. And the advisors, nobody wants them back. It is such a bad idea. This has got to be squashed. The very best scenario is they give him some kind of an appointment in some far off Commonwealth country to keep him out of their hair. But if we follow the time loop and what happened when Edward and Wallace were in the Bahamas, I mean, that was just a nightmare of corruption and scandal in itself. And I think the same would happen, that, you know, corruption and scandal, that's just who Harry and Meghan are. It would follow them, and eventually they're going to have to be cut off completely from the royal family and any association with them. Now, is this what we're facing? As a compromise, will they try to cut Harry a deal and say, we'll appoint you as something or other over here? Is this going to be the interim move before the full cutoff? Or is William going to step in and override his father? This all remains to be seen, but it's heating up, folks. It's heating up. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next little while. Stay with me and we'll discover it together. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I want to know what you have to say, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.